talk about right now is UI customization. It's a feature that a lot of people requested since launch, and so we worked hard to bring it to you guys. It'll launch with Game Update 1.2 and allows you to customize your layout to be exactly what you want it to be. I've also got Damion Schubert here, our lead systems designer. His team was responsible for putting together this UI, the whole customization stuff, so he'll be able to answer any questions you have after this. So, here I am on my ship, my Imperial Agent Sniper, Miraluka Sniper, only available through Legacy. So we've got our basic bar at the bottom with 12 abilities, pretty standard.
One of the things you might notice is that the GUI is a lot cleaner now. We've got a lot of the less of the faded stuff and the glowy stuff, which a lot of people responded to positively because it takes less space and gives you more visibility on the screen overall.
So we got the main bar down here, and before, if you were playing this game, this little button here would just extend all your quick bars, or extend to a second quick bar. But this button right here now also opens up an interface UI, which starts off with we give you three defaults. The obvious default, which is the basic UI, the extended quick bars, which gives you all of your hotbars all at once, and then retro, for those of you who played other MMOs, or like the old school style of UI, put target in the upper left, map in the upper right, chat in the bottom left. So those are just the three defaults that we give you, just to start off with, if you don't feel like going into the advanced stuff. But let's go into the advanced stuff. Whoa. So, this is the UI editor, the interface editor. This lets you move around every single element of the UI, put it exactly where you want it to be. Put all of them on. Just quick reference for the color coding. Red are things that are currently disabled, so they're things that just won't appear normally, and you can enable or disable any of these elements. Blue are things that just generally aren't always there. They're only up in specific situations, so they're considered secondary UI. Things like a Hotbar scorecard or Void Star scorecard, or social notifications for when a friend logs in and out. And then the green stuff are things that are currently enabled and are generally up there and on the screen at any one time. So I'm going to turn off the secondary things just to clean this up. So the first thing you'll notice if I move these up is obviously that you can move everything around. Everything on its own can be moved around. You put them wherever you want on the screen, and then you can save it. You can load other ones. You can save multiple layouts, whatever you want. But in general, once you have these things, first thing, global scale. Ooh, illegible. So you can make things bigger and smaller overall. If you feel like you're someone who really needs something bigger or smaller, you don't need it to take up as much screen space. You got a global scaling, and then every element on its own also has its own scaling. So if you just want to make the target and the target and the player frame smaller, you can do that while keeping everything else the same size. Or if you just want your ability bar to be tiny, because you already know what they all are. And then of course you can set the transparency for all these things by changing the alpha. Ooh, transparent. So each of these things, sorry, my voice is cracking. It's been a long weekend already. So each of these elements, once you click on that, it opens up a bunch of secondary options in this little frame here. Like I said before, all of them have scaling and transparency. But you can also enable, disable elements of the screen, so I can turn off the player frame if for some reason I don't want to know whether I'm going to die or not. You can flip it both ways. You can show the text on it, so the option, this was already in the game, but you can show the numbers if you want to see them. And you can also flip where the effects go.
As a general rule, we've tried to move the existing GUI customization options that were already into the game into their GUIs, just like that. So that's one example of that. Also, this is now the primary way to turn on and off your quick slots. So if you want to show or hide additional quick slot bars, this is now the way to do it.
So yeah, like over here I've got quick bar 2, which is currently disabled, but I can turn that on. And then I can also choose how many buttons I want to see there. So if I only want to show 4 buttons, that's fine. Or I can show all of them, but I can put them all in different rows. I like showing this off because I have a Razer Naga at home, so this is my layout of choice. So that way it lines up with all those buttons very nicely. You can also choose to show the background on it, the art frame around it. So in case you don't want the art taking up much of the screen, you can turn that on or off. And you can do this with all different elements. Each one's got different options. I can flip it so the buttons are on the top. Well, certain buttons are on the top and certain ones are on the bottom. You can turn on and off anything you want. The only thing I believe you can't turn off is the conversation wheel, because if you can turn that off, then you can't really play.
Yeah, we're also going to make it so you can't turn off the holocom indicator, because that will block you. Go ahead and select the tooltip, this thing right here. you now have the ability to take this off of the mini-map, and so it's just a small square instead of that elegant piece of art. So,
I just learned something today. I've been wanting to move that.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can unlock it from the map and put it wherever you want it.
you can flip the map as well.
Yeah, you can flip it vertically like that. So you can do all these crazy things with every element of the UI, put it exactly where you want it. I'm pretty sure right now I just made the worst UI ever. Yeah, that looks pretty good. But when you're done with it, you can actually give it a name and save it. So I'm going to save this as UI PAX. I can save it, and then it saves it to my Dropbox, my bar. So next time I pull this up, it's here as UI PAX. So I go back to my default, and I can switch back to UI PAX. That is a terrible, terrible UI layout. But one of the cool things about this, one of my favorite parts of this, is that when you save these layouts, it actually saves it as an XML file on your computer. So there are a lot of websites I've already seen popping up right now where you can upload the XML file, upload a screenshot of your UI, and then someone else can look through, browse through, find a UI layout that they like, and download it themselves, put the XML file in their game folder, and then it'll just load it up next time you're in the game. But that also means the layouts carry across your account too. So if you set up a layout, you don't have to reset it up for the rest of your characters. Oh, and the other thing I forgot to point out last time, you can check this box, and by doing that, it'll allow you to open up lots of windows and move them all around.
Nice!
Yeah, look at that. Put tons of things up on the screen.
One of the things that this does is it makes modding lots of stuff at the same time, like 80% sucky less. So,
okay. So, that was a very, very, very quick demo of what the UI interface can do. There's a lot of detail here, and we're planning on adding a bunch more things to it. I think we were talking about adding more hotbars too, right? At some point?
At some point, they're not in yet.
I believe, am I correct that the companion quick bar has been separated from the other quick bars?
That is correct.
So you can have 4 of your own quick bars plus your companion bar, if you want it. So there's a ton of detail in this, and like I said, if you want a chance to play it, to play around with it, mess around with it, and screw it up for the next person to try it out, you can go over to those computers over there and check out Game Update 1.2. You can just create a new character and just start playing with the UI right then and there.
The other thing is that this filter here allows you to modify certain things. So this allows you to modify your conversation wheel. So you put your conversation wheel up here if you're crazy. And this is the rewards that pop up and show that. You also can customize your space combat as well. So all of those modes are handled there. Most of the time you're going to be working on the main HUD.
So yeah, you can, basically you don't have to work with every single window open at once like I did. You can actually just choose the ones that are relevant to you, which is nice. So that's the basic demo I've got. Damion is happy to answer any questions you have about this system right now. Anyone have any questions? I'll just wander down here.
So that's pretty cool. Enable movable secondary window thing that lets you pop all those windows. Does that solve the problem of companions coming back from cruise skill mission?
It's screwing everything up that you were doing.
No, that's a bug, and I believe that's fixed in 1.2.
That is fixed in 1.2.
So they'll just pop up their own reward window?
Their reward window, I believe, will not pop up while
It'll
you're
go
on that or while you're...
the way that God intended. So.
Right now on the default UI, when you have something in the first option on the default bar, that skill is activated by right click. Is there going to be a way to change that or disable that?
There will be a way to change that or disable that. That's in the system right now. The answer is because we wanted to make it so that your very basic newbies could start combat by right-clicking on their enemies. And most of the time that's effective, but you know they also have to learn how to either click or hit their 2 key at some point. So
don't lean on that railing.
I noticed that.
I feel like you're gonna fall.
I did too. So.
Sorry if you already answered this, it came a little bit late, but on your character window, is there an option to resize the status ailments or other effects going on in the character?
No, right now the buffs are baked into the portrait GUI. We have plans to break that out so that they're their own elements. That's not in yet.
Other questions? Anyone? Bueller?
Oh, you guys are too easy. Come on, give me something hard.
You almost have a question. You got one? Sure.
The tooltip bar that can be moved around now, can it be attached to the mouse?
No. That wasn't hard.
Easy enough.
While unrelated to the current patch, players since beta have been having issues for the patches being unable to go through several different reasons. It's called hesitant, unable to retrieve patch data.
Right.
Have you found a way to fix it?
I am not the right person to answer that question.
I believe if you contact customer service, they're able to help you out with those things. The patching issue especially, I know they've been working very hard to help any players who aren't able to play the game get into it. So definitely reach out to them, call them, send them a ticket, and they'll take care of you.
The cases that I know of personally of these things now are usually a firewall problem on your own computer. But you should look on our knowledge base on our website in order for problems related to that, because I haven't been paying close attention to that particular issue.
Question up front.
On the raid UI, are you going to be able to modify that as dynamically as the UI as well?
The raid UI customization is pretty much unchanged from what you have before, but we moved all that functionality into this system, so it'll be inside this window, and it will get expanded over time.
Yeah, so you can move around the groups that you want, how many groups you want, the health stuff. We're going to add to it. Now that I just screwed with it.
Yeah. One of the things that we want to do that's long requested is to break that one GUI into 6 GUIs so that you can actually put the different groups however you want to. That's not in this particular patch, but it's on our list.
Yep. Question?
It kind of relates to the user interface, but not so much in this patch. What about chat bubbles being added to the game eventually?
Chat bubbles are coming. I can't tell you when, but they're coming.
Questions? I just want to remind everyone, we are here to talk about the UI customization. We have a general Q&A every day at 3. We had one today, we'll have one tomorrow. So come back at 3 tomorrow, we'll have all of the developers here on stage. They'll be able to answer any question about anything.
Also, we have both Emmanuel and I are here on the floor, and you can talk to us about other things after this, but any other questions about interface in particular?
Am I able to turn the orange pixel back on?
No. The orange pixel is dead.
That's actually a legacy unlock, right? Any other questions? Oh, sorry.
Is there any way to get it so that when you get gear, you can compare your just your guy with all of your companions all at once? In other words,
That is a lot of tooltips you want to see in one blow.
It's just something that's a real pain, you know, when you don't have the same companion, you gotta stop, you gotta save, pull him back up, and then take a look at what he's got, you know.
We have, that idea has definitely floated around. The question is, how can we do it without you mousing over an item and then going, holy hell, that's a lot of text. So, you know, it's, part of the problem is that our tooltips right now are already very complicated because of the mods and because of the comparative tooltips and because we like stats a lot. So I won't say never, but I'll say that there is a tricky design problem to solve before we can get to the point where we can do that.
Is there any way that when you mouse over a piece of equipment and you're on the companion screen, that it shows the companion item instead of your item in the comparator? I'm pretty sure. I thought it did.
I thought it did.
It doesn't when they're not
It
called.
used to.
I swear it did at one point.
Like when you're on a vehicle and they're stored, it doesn't show us.
When you're in a vehicle, yes, because you don't have your companion out.
Yeah, technically.
Right. But one of the things that I'd recommend, of course, is we have an option to turn on View Companion Tooltips. I hope most people are playing that on.
I just found out about the quick part of the weekend.
Sorry, second question. Is there any plans in the works for being able to give gifts to your companion on your ship? the one that you have selected. You can obviously dress your companions on your ship that you haven't selected, but like I have a lot of my gifts in my bank or my ship hold, and you send your guys off and they come back. Then I have to dock my ship and get off in order to distribute those gifts.
Yeah, it's on my list of things to do. It's obviously not a burning issue, but it's definitely a nice quality of life thing that we hope to have.
Anyone have any other questions about the UI customization coming in 1.2?
Is there any way to split out the companion health bar so that someone you're party with can more easily see when they need to leave?
That's also on my list of things to do. That's a little more urgent than the gift thing, especially if we want people to be running flashpoints with a companion. It makes it really hard to heal right now. We know that.
You got a long list of things to do. Have you been to my queue? Seems like you have a job for a while.
Are there any plans to have free floating hotkeys, like you could put your stun break in the middle of the screen or something like that? Instead of having a whole bar across the bottom?
Not right now, that's not on my list.
But you can, if you want, take one of those hotbars, bring it down to one ability, which you can shrink it down to one ability, stick that right in the middle of your screen and put the ability on it.
And if that's worth a hotbar to you, then be my guest.
Go for it.
But yeah, that's not an urgent issue right now.
Any other questions? Anyone? Am I missing someone? Oh, there we go.
We got another one down the front here.
Can you break out your space combat hotbar so that you can move your turning up the shots and turning down the shots?
Let's see.
Space combat.
I think this is the whole space combat GUI right here.
So no.
So no. You can't move that whole GUI around. I think you might be able to flip it.
You can flip it vertically, yeah. See what the abilities on the bottom. So.
But yeah, in terms of the actual broken out into separate components, not currently. That might happen in the future, but we haven't gotten a lot of requests to customize that GUI, so that's probably lower on the list of things to do.
Like sometimes I like to turn down and turn up the shot. It makes it a little bit easier to get through the sequence when you don't have the right equipment.
Yeah, we know, we feel it. I feel you, but any other questions about GUI?
With the limited hotbar availability, is there a good way to use the throw hotball thing?
I always just move it to my hotbar as soon as I get in the hotball.
Yeah, right now that's the best answer we've got for that. We want to get more hotbars out to you. We haven't been able to for a couple of technical reasons that would be stupid for me to try to explain, but are unique to our own architecture. But we're going to expand those so that I don't have to at least give you that excuse anymore. So.
Cool. Anything else?
One more.
One more up front. All right, last question. Last question.
Any plans to turn chat back on in space combat?
I have plans, yes. Not in 1.2, but I want to basically. I have an idea of how I want it to work. Both the chat guy, both the space guys and the conversation guys get persnickety that there's all this ugly text going on, ruining your beautiful view, and I may just have to go and tell them to suck it down. So, anyway, want to do one more?
All right, let's do one more.
I just like to make you go up and down the stairs over and over again.
That's fine, it's fine.
So does that mean with each different customization, you can have like different skills each one of the UIs? Like pick a Warzone UI, regular?
No, the buttons that are saved in quick slots 1, 2, 3, and 4 are saved per your character on the server. So if you choose a different profile, they'll still occupy the same space. That being said, you might, for example, have a PvP profile that puts your number 3 slots down here where they can be clicked on faster and have your number 1 slots elsewhere. I've seen some people do that, but that's only really useful to you if you're a filthy clicker. So.
Well, on that positive note.
One of the things I just wanted to say is the GUI team, to be honest, we were only slated to get about half of this in for this milestone, but the GUI team for the game did a lot of overtime in order to get this guys to you because they felt that it was really important to the game, really important to raiders, really important to PvPers, and would make for a better experience. So I would just like you to indulge me in a hand of applause for these people who can't hear it, because it really is rock solid. It is really good. So thank you very much for coming out to this